delay and we'll get going here. Let me wait. This will come up. That's got to be it there.
Says we're live now. I think we are.
There we go. Mute. We're good.
All right. It's my fault.
Welcome, everybody. We've got a Friday night live stream. I've been, yes, we're a little bit late. According to Mike, we had to put our makeup on. You know, we got to look beautiful for everyone. So, yes, we're doing Friday because our Saturdays, we're having trouble getting them together. So we're going to do a Friday and try to get this in before back 40. The Woodhounds get going at 8. What is he? Central time, 8 o'clock Central. So we'll try to get done so everybody can watch and enjoy. We're not going to step on his feet as well. So hopefully everybody is good with that.
It'll just be a fantastic Friday night for everybody. We can do the Eastonmade one and flow right into back 40s and away we go.
Yeah, that's for sure. Exactly right. How come my comments aren't coming up? What's going on here?
Maybe nobody wants to come see us.
No, because jeez.
I know for sure Bert and Mike are waiting around.
That's not what I want. I don't want to show that. What is going on here? What's going on tonight? Yeah. I know we got people. Videos by Al. James.
Well, thanks for showing up, lads.
Yeah. JC Auto Doctor. Audio and video is good. That's awesome. Thanks. WTF Buddy. Greetings, Kevin Andrew.
Oh, he was on live. He was on Gord's premiere there tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. And James, yeah, he says 9 p.m. Eastern for back 40.
For back 40, yeah. Dickard with Dave came by the shop there a couple of weeks ago and he missed him.
Yeah, he was telling me about that. He's like, "Oh, I called and Andrew wasn't around." Yeah, I guess he was working at I can't remember. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he would have been up at Omni. He says he works there quite a bit. I must have just missed him. I'm normally at the shop. I'm normally kicking around there somewhere. I'm in and out and all over the place, but
I don't know why those comments aren't coming up. That is bothering me. That's annoying. But we'll work with that. I can see the other comments, so there's no worry on that. And Mike.
Well, sometimes you just gotta fuck with the dick you got, eh?
That's right. I don't know. It's always worked. I don't get why it doesn't. Settings. Show the audio. Guess green screen. That's what we need. A green screen. I could have some fun with that. If I could ever figure out that, I'd have to YouTube how to use a green screen, and I would need a green background. Guess general. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. Didn't I have to restart it the last time?
I don't think we did. We can try it though. I'm up.
I don't think I'm gonna bother with it. I will shrink a screen here because I can't stand the delay. I'm watching myself on it. So
even if you just feed it to me or feed it back and forth, I don't care either way. As long as you and everybody else is happy is all I care.
Yeah, we will. I'll do this. I'll shrink this screen. Can't do that. A screen shrinks the whole screen. I'll work with it here. It's fine. No worries. WTF, he's the second time seeing Andrew today. First time was with GP Outdoors.
He's going to get a third time here shortly. The other video is coming up. The Eastonmade video with the 115 horsepower bars. So the official Eastonmade video is coming up here shortly on YouTube. I was hoping to have it out a couple hours before this, just so I could have like Gord, that, and then this deal, but I kind of fudged up, so it happens every once in a while. So here we are now.
It happens. You need. Do you got high speed at the house or?
No, I don't know. I was at the office until probably 4:30 there today. I was trying to get it uploaded there. And I don't know what you use for doing your videos, but I have Premiere Pro.
Yep.
So I had the whole thing set, and then like half an hour down the line, there was a whole another string of video after that. So it took like 2 hours to upload, and I got looking through it before it was uploaded. Geez, that's so good.
Yeah, I have done that before. I use Adobe Elements for mine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It would have been really good because like the strung out stuff that we had there was one of the local fellows showed up there. Doug Goodfellow showed up, and I had a great conversation with him. Just a super nice guy, and it's just such a character to talk to. Just you wouldn't find any better. So it would have been if it would have gotten it up, it would have been pretty entertaining for people. I would think me and Doug shouldn't have shipped, but
yeah. So what do we are going to, we'll just get into talking until we get some questions here, but the oven, let's talk about that. That oven is going finally. We got some heat. We're cooking.
It's up and running. The powder coating oven is running, and I will tell you that is the cat's pajamas. It is awesome. We went from about 4 gallons of primer and 4 gallons of paint to a processor, about a quarter of a box of powder coating powder for. So a gallon of paint, you're about $300. A box of powder, you're about $300. So a quarter of a box versus 8 parts. So there's a huge cost savings for it. And for you guys, it gives you guys a lot better product. And then time savings, we were normally about a day to paint a processor frame. By the time we put a processor in paint, we were about a day. We can cycle it in an hour and a half now.
Wow. That's quick.
So it is a huge improvement. And that goes to the processor and all the rest of the products from Eastonmade. Like it's just getting a lot more sophisticated, a lot more streamlined, and it's gonna make a lot better products for the people that are buying them.
Yeah. Do you want to explain exactly how powder coating works for the people that don't know? I actually have a bit of an idea, but I'm not exactly sure how it works.
You essentially spray the powder on it. It's kind of a 3-step process. Like we sandblast all the parts because that's critical. A lot of companies will powder coat, but they won't sandblast. So sandblasting is a critical step. We have a booth set up in the shop for sandblasting now. And then we will spray the powder after that. It goes on. It's exactly what it sounds like, powder. It is if you think of like chalk out of a chalk line, it's that consistency, and the gun sprays it on. The nice thing about it is you don't miss too many pieces with it. It covers just about everything. And then it goes into an oven at 400 degrees for about an hour until it bakes. It essentially bakes the powder right into the steel, so it lasts a very long time, and it's very durable. It's a really good system, and we have an oven big enough to do an entire process, like a full size 48C 60C processor. It will do the whole thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. You can get a whole machine in there, that's for sure.
As far as I know, we're the only company right now that is doing an entire large processor. There's a handful of companies doing smaller processors, like smaller bar saws that will be big enough that you can fit in there. But as far as I know, we're the only company that's powder coated a full size processor like that.
So somebody wants out.
Mom just come home. Come here, Dash. He's a whippet. He's like a greyhound except smaller.
Mountain Firewood, 2 legends. Well, thank you. I don't know if I call myself a legend, but thank you for the compliment. I'll take it.
I don't know either.
James asks, cable skidder versus grapple skidder. Which do I prefer? Well, cable's nice because you don't got to hop off the machine and pull cable. You can pull more with a cable machine than you can pull heavier hitches. But yeah, I'll run anything. It doesn't really matter. My shoulders say I prefer grapple better. Cable really bothers my shoulders now. So Yeah, I prefer grapple. That's kind of why I was cutting on the job we were on. Just because it would be too much for my shoulders. I wouldn't be able to take it, and cutting was the lesser of the two evils for me.
That's a hard call, and it really depends on where you are too. Honestly, from what I've seen, like a lot of places that I'm not quite sure what it's like towards where you guys are, but we have a lot of hills where we are. So like we would normally run grapples. Dad had a 648,
Yep.
And then he had a 525 cat, and we could get just about anywhere with the grapples. Like we could get around anywhere, no problem at all, and like very efficient, very quick, pull stuff out. But there's a handful of places where you needed the cable skidder to get down over a hill or in a tight spot where it'd be a lot less invasive for the cable skidder than for the grapples.
Yeah, and I have limited experience with the grapple other than the skid steers, and I don't count them as a grapple skidder. So, I think too you do less damage with a cable skidder, in my opinion. But again, take my opinion with a grain of salt because I'm having a ton of time in a grapple skidder. So, you probably have more time up there.
I think you're right on with that, Cav. Like depending, like if you're doing like really selective cut stuff where you were doing private jobs, you would do a lot. You probably do a lot tighter job with the cable. It would be obviously more time consuming, a lot more labor intensive and stuff like that. But I would think you would be able to do a lot nicer job than what you'd be able to do with the grapple.
Yeah, like. Excuse me, the job we're on right now, if anybody's been following my videos along, we had plans. We were going to use the two 664s, Clark, Skidders, cables. We were going to deck it all. We were going to find somewhere in the bush we could actually work with that. The Clarks with the 23-126 tires, the float tires on them. They are, I think, 8.8 feet wide. We were going to use a 648L to grapple to pull it the rest of the way to the landing to kind of save time, and we could deck out everything up and then just start pulling everything up. The problem with that is that 648L is like 11 feet wide. So now we have narrow trails. You have to widen everything out. It just wouldn't work on these trails. And these were original trails from, I think, the 50s, from what I've heard. No, 70s? I think from the early 70s when the last time it was logged. So these trails are super narrow. And it just didn't work out. We just ended up using the two Clarks to get it out. But that was kind of the idea. And that's the other problem. These grapples, they're really wide. So.
Yeah, if you're doing really big production, that's where you'd want the grapples. Like if you were working I know a lot of guys work up in Algonquin Park, and like when you're there on the ton, you have to have that big production, but you're not trying to do as fine of a job with it, right?
Yeah, and you're probably cutting a little bit more and opening it up so you can get away and when that's the equipment you're using, you're opening up those trails to get that equipment through. So it's, you know what I mean? We're a small selective harvest company, right? Kind of low impact. They're two different sides of it, right?
That's the best way you could put it. Yeah, they're two completely different applications. I would think. There's a handful of situations where I think the two of them would cross, but I would think it'd be very, very few.
Yeah. Ricky Boring. Hey guys, just a shout out from North Georgia. Well, how you doing, Ricky?
Well, thanks for showing up, Ricky. It's great to hear from Ricky Boring. That's fantastic.
William Klein. Hello, everyone. Well, how you doing, William? Nice to see you out tonight. Hope your week went well. Be willing. How long did it take the 28 MB to process all those log piles that GP and Guy had stacked for you?
We were probably 2.5 hours, maybe. We didn't get them all done. I actually, Gordon will probably have it in another video, but I got down there and forgot to bring an extra chain with me. So he probably has, I would say, 3 or 4 more cords of logs. He'll probably have another video. We're gonna try and bring a circular saw up to him maybe and do a video of a circular saw up there. But it was about 4 o'clock and I dulled the chain, and I didn't bring another one with me. I sharpened 2 other chains before coming up on Tuesday to make sure I had them, to put them in the truck, and I left them all. Just didn't grab them, so I couldn't finish Gord's wood up for him. So I hope Gord doesn't shoot me for the spoiler, but wasn't very long. Like, if you see the video of we're putting a video of the 115 horsepower 22 MB. It should be up here in, let me check, 5 minutes actually, of all things. And I ran a deck full of logs through it, and it's almost real time. I think it was like 10 or 12 minutes or something, 11 minutes of it. And that's with me talking for 3 or 4 minutes of it. So that 115 horsepower 22 MB is completely and totally bonkers. Like, in terms of a bar saw processor, it cuts like a harvester. That's the way they should have been made for years. So
yeah. Now, what do you think's doing it? The horsepower or the pump?
both.
Or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have the horsepower drive. Like, normally, like when we built bar saws in the past, we can get the pressure up to around 2,800 to 3,000 psi because that's what the pump's limited at.
Yeah.
That 115 horsepower 22 MB, we're running that at 5,000 psi. So we're not quite double the pressure into it and the same flow, and because we have the motor to do it, it just performs incredible. Like, even if you have dirty wood and stuff like that, it doesn't seem to care near as much. I think it's really going to change the way that people look at bar saws. Like, obviously, you're still going to have the same issues with the bar saws you normally have, but I think in that top end of the bar saw spectrum, I think you'll see a lot of people start changing their tunes here in the next year or two because of that machine specifically.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that. And I've run a bar saw, so I'm run both sides of that spectrum, and I'm very impressed with how that, even the 74 horse that you had at GP's. But
yeah,
I've seen that one quick video of that 115, and that is crazy quick.
And like that 3,000 you guys had, like that would have been probably running a 50 horsepower cat on it. I would assume if we're 3,000, be 50 horsepower 2.2 on it.
I want to say it was a 67, but I'm not 100%. I can't remember.
That would have been into a 4,000 though. That would have been.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have put a 67 on a 3,000. So probably 50 horse.
Yeah.
And you got to think double the horsepower.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
More than double the horsepower, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like where that would get kind of lazy. This thing just it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to seeing that video of you guys running that 115 on that 22 MB.
And that's actually Ricky Herring's machine of all things. I don't know if Ricky's showing up tonight or not, but that's for the first 115 is Ricky Herring's machine, and it's running slick. I'll tell you, I'm thoroughly impressed with how that turned out. Even the other processors, as we kind of continue through this and learn more and more with it, like, you guys are going to be getting a kick-ass machine. That 48 seat you guys are going to get, it's going to be awesome. Yeah,
he's actually Ricky is on here, so yeah. Ricky,
is he right on? That's perfect.
You're getting one heck of a machine.
Oh, and I'll tell you, like, all the guys that shop love Ricky. Like, yeah, I think he's been talking back and forth with Jeremy. I think Jeremy's got a romance going with Ricky. He just loves it. Loves Ricky.
I haven't seen Jeremy post yet. He must still be doing makeup too.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Jerry's up to. He might be doing something different, but Ricky's just such a super, super nice guy.
So James is asking, can you reuse the sand after or during the sandblasting process? Do you reuse any of it?
We can now.
Yeah.
Before, we were actually going through about a skid of typical or traditional sandblasting sand a day, a skid of it.
Wow.
So cost savings huge. The steel, the grit that we're using, the media that we're using now is actually a steel grit, is what they call it.
Yeah.
So it cuts incredibly fast. It's very, very aggressive, and we reuse it. So the booth that we do it in now is in the middle of the shop. The processor is built directly behind it. They get pulled into it, then into the sandblasting booth. So it's a very, very efficient process. And the steel grit can get used over and over again. We've been running it for about 2 months now, and we haven't put any more media in it. And the time savings on it would again we'd be probably about 7 or 8 hours to blast an entire processor back in the summer. Now we're about 3 or 4 hours to blast an entire processor. So it's a huge difference. Obviously, there comes the cost, the capital cost of it, but it makes a world of difference at the end of the day, especially the quality of it and the time.
I think actually, here we go. Maybe public save changes. Oh, come on. All right, I can't do it. I'm done with that. All right, sorry, I was fooling around with the trying to get the comments up, and it just doesn't want to do it. I don't get why it does that, but whatever. Dicker with Dave. Good evening, everyone.
Oh, there he is.
Dicker, it is on. We were just talking about you, Dave. Mountain firewood. Can you build a processor with a grapple?
An overhead grapple. I haven't looked into it. I think Multic still has the patent on it. To me, it's a 6-to-1 half dozen. You can run some snarly, ugly stuff through a processor. I think it's just a mental thing for people. And I think what it is the cheaper brands of processors, they don't feed the wood very good. Like they don't have an aggressive enough chain on them to run wood into them consistently. I think it's a lot of extra stuff, like a lot of extra parts. I don't think it'd be any advantage. I talked to a guy that had another brand that had a makeshift thing on it, and he had it for a couple of days, and he hated it. He won to $6,000. So
yeah, I got a text message question right here from a guy named Pete. He's wondering if you can get an Eastonmade hat.
Well, I think I could probably arrange an Eastonmade hat for a special gentleman named Pete. I might even be able to, if I can remember, I can even maybe throw a sweater or a couple of T-shirts in there.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Jesse Hodges, are you guys still up for steak at Salvador's?
Oh, 100%. I wouldn't miss Salvador's. I'll tell you, if I'm ever crossing through there, I don't think I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, that actually, you really talked up that place because I would love to try that place.
I guess what they're known for is their bread, though. Like I just remember their bread. They have like a sausage bread.
A sausage bread?
I don't know how in the hell you'd explain a sausage bread. It's like a baguette, maybe.
Yeah,
I want to say a baguette if I remember right, but it's like has like fresh sausage on. Oh, it's delicious. I just die for it. I guess they're more well known for their sausage bread than they are for their steak. So,
wow, that's I'll have to check that out. I really want to try that place now.
Oh, it's well worth
it. Ramsey Country. Kev, did you make it to the Paul Bunyan show this year? I did not. I had to cancel. It was just crossing the border was a giant pain with a pile of extra expenses, and I wasn't really sucked the fun out of it for me when I started looking into that, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So it sucked. I really missed it. I would have loved to have come down and been down there. I'm sure with a lot of other people as well. But next year we'll do the exact same thing. We'll book early, and hopefully we can get down next year. I don't see why there wouldn't be a problem, but yeah, it was sad. I was pretty bummed out, but it did work out. We ended up, going a week earlier and closing up the cottage, and the wife and I got to spend some time together for our anniversary. So it worked out in our favor, I guess, or my favor. What do we got? Mountain firewood. Show the dog. Lead outdoors. Ricky will have to bring his machine up so we can race them. How's that machine? How's that machine running, Josh?
Once he gets that new beam, and I think they're working on the new beam for right now, or they're getting it together. And that's
okay.
what we're selling. A few things we got to tidy up on Josh's machine. Those guys have been incredibly patient with us, and really fortunate to have those guys to work with us. But I think once we get them running full steam there, they won't have any issues at all. It'll be 60C will be flying.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. The new updates, it's made a huge difference, and I've said that already. But
yeah, just a handful of little things like I think maybe an afternoon worth of tinkering. I think those guys will running as good as he'd ever get it.
Yeah. Andreas, seems like harvester bars and chains last much longer than regular chainsaw chains. Seems harder. Notice when filing. I think they're just heavier built. You may know harvester chains better than I do.
I honestly don't, Kev. Like, I don't know that much about chainsaws. I will tell you that you're going from a 7 horsepower motor to a 115 horsepower motor.
Yeah.
Like there's like the horsepower difference is insane.
Yeah.
Even for one that's running on a normal processor, a smaller processor, there's a lot more engine there. There's a lot more torque there. I think the 404 chain is more durable. Like it's definitely more durable, but the horsepower definitely helps out a lot.
Yeah, because I'm positive we were looking at a Ryan's felling head for a skid steer, and it basically they were saying like 3/4 of the engine or the hydraulic horsepower was going to that chain when it's cutting. So when you're saying like a 7 horsepower chainsaw or 8 horsepower chainsaw to 70 horse running that saw, like that's how much power is going to them.
Yeah, and you need like the more horsepower you can put to them, the better they're going to perform.
Yeah,
like that.
For sure.
I guess that video is live now. I just got a notification there, and like that thing just insane. Like you put the horsepower to those bar saws, and like that 22 MB is cuts like a harvester now. It's what you would expect out of a good machine.
Yeah. See, everybody I keep seeing because I'm watching the delay. You see me scratching. I got poison ivy like everywhere. So that's
really. Dad gets it bad. Dad gets poison ivy terrible. And
that's why
same as a father. Stacy's dad gets it really bad. Like he doesn't even be near me gets it.
Like I've got like there's just like spots when you can probably see some spots like right there, right there. Like it's just everywhere. All of a sudden, it was poison ivy everywhere on this job, and it's just really started to show up this week. I had a bad spot at the beginning, and now I seem to have it like everywhere. I'm just scratching like crazy. I don't get why.
Oh, I've heard it's terrible. I've never got it. Like I'm sure I could roll this up and not get it, but
you're lucky.
You know what really does me is poplar. Like if I cut poplar for a day, if I'm out in the bush, like when I was working in the bush, if we were doing poplar, I get so stuffed up. If we were doing a bunch of poplar, I could hardly swallow or breathe or anything. Oh, the only thing I think I'm allergic to.
Oh wow, we were sawing some spruce today, lumber. I was sneezing like crazy. I couldn't believe it sawing that stuff.
It's terrible, eh?
Yeah, it's rough working outside all the time. Steven Stewart, any big production news concerning backlogs?
Yeah, there is. You will see. I don't know right off the top of my head here, but we're probably 12 or 14 months in production right now, like for a splitter. which is drastically better. Like we were quoting guys 2 years and a bit, and we've cut it in half now. We're going to be able to get it below that if we can. But it's like there's so many machines on order right now that we just have to make sure that we commit to the guys that have made a commitment to us, right? So
yeah, I'm guessing you're looking at getting the other shop moved over to the new one then.
and the next week, yeah.
And the next week, yeah.
Yeah,
so everything will start.
We have pretty well everything all set up. The only hiccup that's going to be in there is there's this one thing around Lantern County that shows up there about a week from now, and it's called hunting season. And if you see this guy at work during hunting season, you may as well. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, it'd be like Kris Kringle not showing up on Christmas Day. So.
Yeah, it's funny. We were just talking about that. My boss was down. He was with someone else down at the Moorbark plant in Michigan. And it was like a ghost town. He's like, where is everyone? They're like, everyone's hunting.
Yeah.
So the plant was like basically shut down.
Like we really don't have, I would say probably 25 to 30% of the staff is gone. Like at least for that first week, 25 or 30% of the week, the staff is gone. Yeah. When I worked when we were working on the bush, we just shut down, close the doors. Like, if you want to go and tinker on something for a day, go ahead and do that. But we're rolling up the carpets. That's all she wrote.
Everybody would be at the job. They'd just be hunting.
Well, and that happened. That's what the second week's for.
Yeah. I'm starting to see the pictures roll in on some of the logger Facebook groups where they're pulling the deer out with the skidders.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's happened the odd time. We that's one with the guy. The second week of deer season up here because you can't have a. Not quite sure what it's probably the same for you guys. The second week of deer season, you only have a buck tag, and it doesn't. The buck tag is good for anywhere. So like a lot of guys will just keep the. We'll keep the 270 or the 300 right in the cab of the skidder with them, like.
Yeah. Is the website going to be updated for the 37D? Still says 7-second cycle time.
It will be here in the next couple of weeks. What we're doing is we're waiting to get the cylinders in and the pumps in to achieve that 5-second cycle. And that's where we're at, 4.5, 5 seconds on that 37D. So probably middle of next month, we'll have all those cylinders in that we can do that and have that set up like that. So that's when we will start advertising that lower cycle time on those particular machines.
That's quick for a
splitter,
that's for sure.
That's crazy. It's a 37-ton splitter cycling at 5 seconds. So that's really, really fast. It's the same as the processor. Like it's a 3-second cycle time on the 40-ton. Like it's a 40-ton 3-second cycle. Like, and if you look at the specs in a lot of other processors, like if you see a cycle time in that 3-second range, it's a 24-ton cylinder. It doesn't have the power, but like all the Eastonmade machines are all 3-second 40-ton.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
They're insanely fast.
Yeah. Crazy. Videos by Al says Pete needs to join in the live feed someday. Well, we may get him in here one time.
We'll have to get Skidder Kev in here.
That's right. Yeah. Jesse Hodges has got a deal for you, Andrew. He says he's going to order a 37D. You can deliver it personally. Kev rides down to New York with you. He's going to buy dinner for everyone at Salvador's and take his machine home with him. He thinks that's a great plan. I think it's pretty good too.
I would almost go for that, Jesse. That's pretty tempting. That's right up my alley.
Yeah, I have no problem having some steak and sausage bread.
I don't know. I get pretty hungry though, Jesse. I've been known to have a hollow leg, so you might be in for one. I'm not quite sure.
In for the tomahawk steak.
Yeah,
It's funny. Mike posted. I saw him post a memory of it. You guys must have been going to a show somewhere. Yeah, yes, and it was him. And I started at one side of the picture, working my way across. All you see is this giant bone going like this, right to that tomahawk steak in front of your dad.
And then the whole fucking thing in dessert.
Oh, it was a big steak. I couldn't believe it.
I have no idea. But Dad's got so much energy. He burned that out. He burned that off, no problem at all.
Yeah.
That would just be enough to fuel the machine.
Dickard says no replacement for displacement.
That's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure.
And speaking about this, I was talking to Videos by Al about this last night. You see, Chev came out with their 1,000 horse crate motor now.
Really?
Yep.
Is that right? What consists of 1,000 horsepower crate motor?
It's a long block, 1,000 horse, six. I want to say it's the, what do they call it? The ZZ 632. Al will pipe up in here and
they're put 632 cubes. Fuck, that's a monster.
Yeah, it's 10. What do they call it? 10.4 liter motor. They claim 1,000 horse. So once guys start getting a hold of it and running it on dynos, they're call it GM or say GM's, right on what they got. But that's crazy. That's a lot of horsepower for a crate motor.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually gone the other way on that. I bought a Jeep 4xe. I just got it with it's a Jeep it's a hybrid Jeep Wrangler.
Oh, okay.
So like it's a traditional Jeep, but it's hybrid. So you can switch it from electric to gas to hybrid, and it we went 1,200 kilometers on a tank of fuel. So that's pretty good.
Cow. That's yeah.
And that's the wife going back and forth the city a couple of times too. So that's really impressive. Like for us, you just plug it into the wall and it charges for. And the really nice thing about it is I like to hunt a lot, right? So when you're going through the bush, you're whisper quiet. You're just like a mouse. So it's just perfect.
Yeah, that's quiet. We did a job. Oh, this is probably 6 or 7 years ago. Did a job and we were on the landing. The landowner had a Prius and he sneaks right up on you. I'll tell you that.
I bet you. Yeah, I would believe that. It doesn't make a sound.
No, we were working on something. I can't remember what. And all of a sudden you turn around, there's this Prius right behind you. You didn't even hear him.
Yeah. I just actually today the Jordan Ball, local guy, he put the lift kit in, he put 37-inch tires on and good shocks on it. So it's we're all ready for a couple of weeks when we go hunting. So
nice. That'll be a fun little ride there.
Oh, we're looking forward to it. And it's fun too because we're looking at 4-seater side by side. So time you buy a 4-seater side by side, you're getting so much money for one. You may as well buy the Jeep and be able to drive it everywhere, right? So
yeah, for sure. At least it's road legal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brian, super excited for his 60C and disc cleaner to show up. They look amazing.
He's gonna really love it. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've got it painted yet. I think that's probably on the bill this week for Brian. That'd be Brian Mullally, is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think he'd be on. I think he'd be on to get painted this week or next week. I'm not quite sure what the schedule is there, but the 22 MBs kind of took up. It didn't really take up a whole lot, but just we want to make sure. Like the big thing for us right now is we want to make sure that the QC, when it goes out the door, that every single little box is checked. That we don't. Because I think the thing with fire processors, a lot of the times, like a lot of them are smaller shops. Like that's almost everybody is. And guys will get it how to change this or tinker with that or whatever. I want to eliminate that. I want for when it gets to a guy, it is perfect. He doesn't need to. He just has to turn the key and go to work with it. And we've been really focusing a lot on that end of it to make sure that when something goes out the door that it's ready to work. The guy's not going to screw with it. It's going to go and nobody worry about it.
Yeah. That's our 4,000 when we got it. I don't remember. I think we made one tweak to it and that was it. We never touched anything else on it. It came out pretty good. I was impressed with that.
And we're really fortunate because we have an incredible group of guys here right now. Everybody is on the same wavelength to make sure that everything is tidied up and perfect. Because honestly, there's a lot of things even that you wouldn't notice. Like if you didn't see two machines side by side, you wouldn't notice it.
Yeah.
We're us like building machines every day and running them every day and seeing one to the next. That's the biggest thing for us, having consistency there. That everything is near perfect as we can make it. Because there's lots of things that a normal person would never see, would never notice at all on a video or even running the machine. They wouldn't unless they knew what they were looking for. They wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's good. That's what you want. You want to do that stuff, but people not noticing it is kind of the way you want it, right? Keep that stuff, wiring exactly out of the way.
Like it's a little details, little fine, minute things that you don't really.
Yeah.
A normal person wouldn't ever pick up on them, but like if you. It's no different than you guys going to do a logging job or a mill job or whatever. You pick up on the little things. It's your trade. You know what I mean? You know what's wrong and what's right. And we want to make sure that everything is just as perfect as we could possibly make it. That a guy wouldn't ever have any issues. And that's what we're really striving for, to get everybody focused on the same thing. I think everybody is too. Like the crew of guys at Eastonmade is incredible. We've been fortunate for that. So
yeah. Now, do the guys building do you got a QC guy, or is it just the guys that build it? They do like a final checklist when they go over it.
What we're doing now is we have Mike Kuzno's a big part of it. Robert Thomas, my brother, is a big part of it. Yep. They'll both do a PDI on a machine.
Yep.
And then either Gage Arsenal, he might be on, Gage might be on, or Jeremy Bell, or Jazz or John. One of the engineers or Jeremy will come through behind them to make sure that all the little stuff is done on. So you have 2 or 3 sets of eyes on it before it leaves the factory. And so far, I've run every single Eastonmade that's left the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Every single process that's left the shop, I've run. I'm going to try and continue to do that until I know myself that consistently it's going to be the same from one to the next.
You're going to be all practiced up to run ours left-handed?
Oh, I can do it whatever way you want.
I think I've been talking to Mike. I'm like, nah, you better put that joystick on the left side. I'm just going to try that.
You won't even notice it. I thought it'd be weirder than hell running. And after like 15 minutes, it was fine.
What do we got here? I had to go back here. Oh, Andreas, he wears a mask when processing aspen. Helps a lot.
I bet you would.
Yeah. I've actually been talking to Brad a little bit. He's got a 4,000 with no cab and the sawdust blowing around. I'm like, may want to look into like some ski goggles or something. You can get it sealed around your eyes just to keep sawdust out of your eyes.
Yeah, poplar's the only thing that I know of that and for some reason it just plugs me right up. I'm not quite sure.
Josh from Elite. Jeremy has been amazing to work with. Customer service is definitely second to none. We've been running the machine just a few hours a week. We finish up the season for our other business.
I think those lads have been pretty busy with what's going on. We've been trying to make sure we're on top of them. And Jeremy's been been really great. We're really fortunate to have good people like that in the background to keep the ball rolling here. So
Yeah. Chris, whenever I cut wood, nose runs like crazy. Yeah, I get that a little bit in certain species, but it's not too bad. Kurt, you can use an over-the-counter product called Zanfel for poison ivy. It's a soap that cuts the aerosol that irritates your skin. You will also get instant relief from it. I've tried a whole bunch. I've actually tried the bleach. You basically scratch open the wounds and put bleach in it and let it dry it out. But
that and vinegar. Well, what
yeah.
did your dad use, Stacey, for poison ivy? Stacey's over there. She's not talking. I want to say apple cider vinegar or something.
Yeah,
with something
that's right too.
I've heard apple cider vinegar and like anything with a high acid content like that.
Yeah.
I've even heard guys like with degreaser, just to cut the oil out of it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like that's a basic. We've basically set up. If we know there's poison ivy on the job, we'll set up a wash station. So you can basically wash. You come out of the bush and you wash for lunch and wash at the end of the day type deal, and try to scrub it off. You got to think it's like grease. Like when you're trying to get grease or oil off, you can see it. You got to scrub the heck out of it to get it off. You got to do the same with getting that poison ivy off. And obviously I didn't, but it's all over me. Like I don't get it. It's everywhere now.
And I think some guys like that. And on that note, I like growing up, I washed all the log trucks and all the equipment for that. So every weekend I'd wash log trucks and use degreasers every day. Now never wear gloves. Now never ever bother me. Not once. Like I asked them, they didn't bother me. And I went to clean my small shop when we moved from the small shop to the big shop here at home. And I had a product called Super Clean or Purple Power. It's like a purple degreaser, right? And I cleaned the shop with it. It took all the skin off my hands. Just peeled the skins right back. I bet you would right to about there. It peeled all the skin off my hands. Never experienced anything like that in my life. And it's funny because like as a young kid, I used it all the time, and I never had any issues. And I went to do a little bit of a scrub job in my shop, and it bothered me for like 4 weeks.
Wow!
I stuck my hands in the furnace.
Holy cow, that's crazy! Like, was it like burn? Wow. It was like a burn then. Like
it was just like chemical burn all over my hands.
That's crazy. James says he'll bring up his 37D up to see me when he gets his. Well, that'd be nice.
Perfect.
We got some big crotch cutoffs in there you can practice with. Try it.
There was you had a buddy that was picking up an Axis at one point, did you not? Did he get it yet?
Yeah, he's supposed to get it. I think it was December delivery date, so I don't know if he's got it. He's got it yet. I'm guessing not because I would have already heard about it or seen
we're about 3 or 4 weeks behind our normal schedule, and then once we get into November, it's what we would do in a week, we're going to do it a day sort of thing. So
yeah. So I'm guessing he'll get his a touch earlier, but probably not.
It'll probably be right on. Maybe even a little bit later than that. I might get it right before Christmas. So
yeah. So I don't. We sold him. We basically sold him all our logs that we couldn't put through the processor. So he's got 2 double loads of big hard maple and stuff.
To run through that, it's too big.
Yeah, it's just too big for the processor. Too naughty. There's no point running it through the processor. So
that Axis will chew that stuff up. He'll love it.
Yeah.
You'll be able to block it quick and easy, and as long as you can get close to the splitter, you'll be able to happen. You'll be in good shape.
Yeah, for sure. Mikey, he says, this is back to your Jeep. It's a AA battery on wheels, Brother Bert.
It's pretty close.
Uh,
One of those things I never ever thought I'd go that way, and now that I go, I never thought I'd buy a Jeep. Honestly, I thought there's no way I'm ever gonna buy a Jeep in my life. There's no chance of it. No. And then I got looking at them, and my wife taught, like, you know what? I think that's the way to go. So we've really enjoyed it so far. We've had a lot of fun with it. Got a lot of tours.
yeah, with the way the price of gas is going right now, yeah, it's probably the right decision. This price of
For
gas is
sure.
crazy now.
Like I have an Argo, and like the Argo is good because you can literally, it's sort of like a skidder. You just point it through the bush, and it doesn't care. It doesn't matter where you're going, swamp, water. You just point it right. But it's hard to keep people in. Like if you have like the wife and especially 3 kids, it's kind of hard to keep track of everybody, right? So
Yeah. What do we got here? Iron and Oak Sawmill. Andrew, why can't I find the Eastonmade hats on your site? Need to have it in your videos when we run the 1222. Was hoping we got a couple with the splitter.
well, you tell Chuck not to worry at all. I'll get him fixed up on Monday. I'll get him and Deb looking just sharp.
Well, there you go. Taken care of. James was asking, Jerry mentioned the 37D won't be getting the Kubota engine. He's wondering if it's a supply issue or what the replacement will be.
I'm not quite sure which way we're gonna fly with this yet. This is kind of a touchy or sensitive subject, I think, because the Kubotas we can't get the 74s. The 902s that are on the 37Ds, 24Ds, we have enough to cover until January, which is good. They've like the Kubota stepped up. Like originally, it was no, there's no way we're going to be able to get that many engines, guys. We can't do it. So now they've stepped up. They said we will get you engines. We want to look after you. So we have enough at least until the end of the end of the year here. And I think going forward we should be okay. We're a month and a half ago we weren't there. And on that, Deutz came back with really aggressive pricing on Deutz power units, like really good. Like and Vermeer, I guess, is actually the distributor or the service people for North America for it. So that's also a big plus. So I don't know if you'll see us go with Deutz or not, but we're almost steering that way. Now that we have the biggest thing is hash out the numbers to make sure it makes sense for us to do that. If there's an advantage of doing, then we will, but we don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. Because those Deutz, they're all air cooled, right? Now?
No, they're not. They're liquid cooled.
Or the liquid, yeah.
I guess the small Deutz, we're gonna get one in. I guess the small Deutz and the D902 Kubota are almost the same engine. I guess you put them side by side, they're nearly identical.
Yeah.
I will tell you, and when I get my hands on one, I will make sure I let the people know. But I guess they're nearly identical, and I don't know about the bigger ones. Like if we go to a Deutz on the processors, we'll be going from 115 horsepower to 137.
Oh wow!
So there's a lot more power there again, right? So you have a lot more there. I don't know if we'll end up going that way or not. It's something we've been kicking around here a wee bit. I mean, it's between the supply chain cost and service. Is the three big things there. Like our supplier for Kubota has been pretty good on the service end of it, but like they also promised us they promised us the moon and they promised the stars and brought us the moon sort of thing. You know what I mean? They kind of fallen short on what we were supposed to get. That's why all the processors are 115 horsepower processors now, because we can't get a 74.
Yeah, which that's kind of sad that happened, but supply issues everywhere. I'm guessing that's what's happening to them as well too, right? Or they wanted the sale.
Yeah, and on that note, like we ran on the same new Honda last year, right? We ran on the same new Honda at the end this time last year, exactly this time last year, they couldn't supply us. And I took I kind of put my head in the guillotine there and went with the Vanguard, the Briggs, and I wasn't quite sure how it would go. We haven't touched a wrench to one. I think Gord Potter had a coil go on one. I think we had one other guy with a fuel module go, like the solenoid go on them. Like we've had less problems with the Vanguards than we've had with Hondas.
That's crazy.
So like it was worth the jump to go that way to get away from the other brand. Like I know Honda's the best, like known to be the best, same as Kubota, but with the last issues, you fucking got to do it. At the end of the day, you're building equipment for people to run, right? So
yeah, it's exactly, it's whatever. They're both good engines, you know. Everybody likes Honda. You know, Honda has a good engine. We had them on our smaller wood splitter, and it was a good motor. Like you can't argue that. But Vanguard's been out there forever too, right?
We've had incredible luck with those Vanguards. I don't think I go back to Honda after running them. After running them, seeing how they perform and seeing how they work, and the minimal amount of service we have on them.
Yeah.
I really like, I'm gonna do an update video here in a couple of months, like in January. It'll be about a year then, and I don't think you'll see me go back to the Honda after running the Vanguard. Those engines are fantastic. They're great.
Yeah, it's we talked to our Kubota dealer, well, like our farm dealer where we got our skid steers from, mentioned about we were getting it on a processor, and he's like, you better get the numbers for the filters because we can't do anything for you. We can't look them up. You got to go to MP Power.
Yeah, and that's it too, because
that's
MK is the Ontario distributor for
industrial,
for the industrial engine, and that's the thing with Kubota is that you, and same as Cat, same as any other of those brands, they have the power equipment brand or whatever, the skid steers of their own equipment, and then they have the industrial engines. That's the two differences in it.
Yeah. And I don't know how Deutz works if you just go to Vermeer, like a Vermeer dealer, to get them to work on it, how that works for warranty work. But one thing for Jeremy, before I forget, if Jeremy is watching, or Gage, or whoever is taking care of this, filter numbers. If those have filter numbers on them, or if you can get filter numbers for guys and have a list for them so they can get it from their local dealer, that helps tremendously for people.
We're really hoping to work on the owner's manual end of it to make sure that the filter numbers will cross-reference, so like whether you have a Crownite or a Wix or a whatever you got, that at least you can pull up the owner's manual and see what you need.
Yeah, I think that's one big thing. Like when I was talking to the parts guy, that's the big thing. He says if you can get the part numbers, we can look them up, and hopefully we can get them. But we can't look them up personally here because we don't know the motor, right? They need an actual equipment number to get them. Like that would be a big help for guys, right? When they want to go and do a oil change on it or want an air filter, right? They've got either a Kubota number, or like you said, a Wix number that you can cross-reference, which is super handy.
And I think that's the nice thing about the way that Kubota does it. They are very adamant about how the machine runs, how it's structured, how it's inputted into their system. Like I honestly think if you went to a Kubota dealer and asked about an Eastonmade wood splitter or an Eastonmade processor, they would probably have the information for you. Like the guys that have been putting this project together for us at Kubota have been that adamant about crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Like there's stuff that I haven't, like I wouldn't even consider. They're concerned about the ground for the machine is on this side, the ground for the starters on this side. They were concerned about the main bearings on the crankshaft arcing across the crankshaft. Like
Wow.
that adamant and so picky about minuscule stuff that I don't. I've never even heard. How are you gonna? You're not gonna seize a crankshaft electricity. I've been around this a long time. You're not gonna do it. But like these guys are so adamant about crossing their T's and dotting their I's to make
Yeah.
sure everything is perfect that I don't think you'd have any issue with it at all.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. I don't see an issue. It's just the ease of filters. That's kind of
100.
what I'm looking at. Yeah.
Well, basic maintenance. It's got to be easy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. 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 Cliff Blick, Axis owner here, had to make a small tweak to his, but it's a non-issue. Excellent machine. Thank you.
What did Cliff do to his? He put a piece of 2x4 maybe in it. I remember seeing a couple of emails from Cliff, and I can't remember what he did, but I remember thinking it was pretty crafty what he ended up doing with it to remedy. What was he doing? I can't even remember. I know he had sent me a couple of emails on suggestions, and the suggestions he had were awesome. They were amazing. They're great.
He also says here further down, Vanguard has been impressive. Never more than a second pull, if that. Starting.
Yeah. And it seems to have like a smaller gear, like a better gear ratio on it. So when you do go to pull it, it's a smoother pull than what the Honda is. Maybe it's just me, but it's just something I've noticed anyways. So
I've heard that from a couple of people too about that same thing. Iron and Oak, awesome. Thank you so much, Andrew. Andreas, are you going to make an economy model processor for the little guys starting out?
that's we were under this almost every live stream we come
Oh
into
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't. It's so hard to build something good and cost effective.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
it's a very very difficult thing. Like even our splitters. If you look at the Ultra, like you're gonna pay a little bit more money for it than what the box store splitters are. But you're buying a lot more machine.
Yeah. How about we ask this question like 4 months down the road when you get caught up and see where you
Maybe.
are when you're, because I know where your mind's at now. It's getting everybody moved over and
Yeah,
getting
that's
that up and
exactly
going.
like me
Playing
and
catch up.
Gage and John and Jazz and Jeremy have talked about doing a smaller processor with like single axle on it, but it's so hard to do something good.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do I don't want to put something out there that's not going to perform up to. I don't want to put something out there that I wouldn't be happy with owning. That's probably the best way to put it. Like I don't want to. I don't like owning chunk. Like I run a business. Stuff has to run. It has to work right. It has to perform. And that's the biggest thing for me. Is I want to make sure the stuff's right.
Yeah. And I agree. You don't want to cut corners making, your names on it, right?
And there's so much cheap shit out there that it is. I don't know how somebody would build a lot of the stuff that's out there on the market and any market for that matter, and be happy with what they produced and what they sold somebody. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I hear you.
Have you ever gone to Princess Auto?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. All I'm saying is it probably comes in a container. That's it.
It probably does, yeah. Probably does.
At least no matter what you guys buy, whether it's Eastonmade or any other brand, buy in North America. Like that's I think the key here, where you're going to get that better quality, better service. But
100%. Like honestly, guys, like any splitter processor you're gonna buy, that's North American based. So whoever you're buying from,
Yeah.
these guys are small business guys, the same as what you are. They want to do good stuff and they want to look after you. It doesn't matter whether you buy it from this guy or any of the other people. It's they want to look after. They want to make sure that you succeed, so they succeed. I don't know of too many examples in this industry where you'll find anything different, honestly.
Yeah. And that, I don't want to knock guys that buy stuff like that. I get, money's a factor in it, and sometimes that stuff fits in the budget. I get it, and
Yeah, fuck. I seen a rosin.
It's a catch-22, right?
I got a rosin from a guy. And it's kind of amusing because I got back on the Facebook there. I know you know you know the alias there, but I kind of look around the groups there a wee bit. There's a handful of there's one guy that sells that junk that was pretty upset with me calling out his stuff there, and all I could think of was like that Chinese shit's just a pile of fucking junk. You're just trying to peddle a bunch of bullshit to people and promise them fucking hopes and dreams for nothing. I don't understand why I don't know how you'd sleep at night.
Yeah. Yes, it's you can talk about this forever. It's one of those. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it at all.
Brian Mooley, shirts and hats with every processor is what I'm hearing. Send some to Massachusetts.
I'm hoping if we can organize stuff, we will. I've got Stacy was planning on doing an apparel thing when she was off for COVID. She's a hairstylist, right? So she was off for COVID a lot this year, and she's planning on doing it. Just with the kids, it's so hard to get anything done around the house when the kids are all here, right? So I've literally got a basement full of like Eastonmade shirts and hats and toques and hoodies and whatever. The one bedroom downstairs full of it. So if you let us know, we'll probably look after you. Don't worry.
James, honestly don't care. This is for his 37D. Honestly don't care if it's a Kubota, but he knows some people do.
Yeah, and I think for a lot of guys, it's not going to be the end of the world, whatever engine is. Because like myself, I bought my JCB skid steer. I don't know what engine's in it.
Yeah, I don't know what they run for an engine either.
That makes two of us, and I own one.
Yanmar? The Yanmar?
Might be a Yanmar in it. I know every time I go and touch the key, it runs.
Yeah, that's what counts.
I change oil in every once in a while, and I don't even. I've never. It's got 1,600 hours, and I've never put a wrench on it. That's all I care. It's not hard on fuel. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's beautiful.
James piped up. He says Princess Auto has Jeeps, Andrew.
You know he's right.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
But are they hybrids?
That they could be. You never know.
How do we go from talking about buying from talking about buying a Dodge Demon last February to a hybrid?
Yeah, exactly. Is the Jeep to make up all the fuel the vet burns?
Well, I hardly even drove that. I bought it with 14,000 kilometers on it in February. It has 17,000 kilometers on it now.
Oh, wow.
So, and I gotta say, I drove it a lot this summer, but the shop's only 7. It might be 15 kilometers to the shop. I think it's 15 kilometers from the house to the shop. So it's not even. You could drive it every day and not even put any miles on it, hardly, right? So
yeah, you drive it a lot, but don't put a lot of miles on it.
Well, that's exactly it. Yeah. Like, there's not really anywhere to go, right? So
yeah.
I don't even think Stacy's been in it yet. I don't think the wife's been in it.
Oh,
I don't think Stacy's been in the vet yet because we
she's
had
missing
Gus
out.
in April, right?
Yeah.
So we've always had Gus. So I don't think Stacy's even been in the vet.
Huh. Mountain Firewood. He says he never got a hat with any multi-tech he ever bought. I've never even seen a multi-tech hat before.
Oh, well, I'll give him a hat and a shirt.
Oh, look at that. He's one up in that. Elite Josh from Elite Outdoors. I can't figure out why so many people want a cheap processor. They aren't worth having. Again, it's, you can pay 10 grand for one or you pay 50. That's a big spread of money. Guys think they can get a processor, cheap. I get that. I understand. They want a entry one. It is what it is. They're out there. People are going to buy them.
I bought cheap stuff before, and I think it's going to be fantastic. And it's always bit me in the air. So I've kind of learned that you may as well, you got to pay me now or pay me later, right? So.
Yeah, Mountain Firewood says he may have to see about a new unit soon. So there you go. You're going to get a hat and a shirt too with it.
Well, that's fantastic. I think he'd be thoroughly impressed with what we have to offer there now. Like it's the Eastonmade are hell of a machine. You guys are pretty impressed by them.
Yeah, and Joe's Firewood videos is on.
Oh, Joe's come out.
Yeah, Joe's out. He was asking about Joe Biden has a chant. Let's go, Brandon. What's the Trudeau chant?
I'm not quite sure what it is, Joe.
It's another one. I don't think I can mention it on YouTube.
No, I don't think there's a right way to answer that political stuff without offending somebody or pissing somebody off. Yeah, that's the worst part of social media. I'll tell you. There's I've talked to a couple people about that there last. That's kind of my big thing. I don't know why people just can't get along and respect other people's opinions. Every little opinion, you may as well still like one another afterwards. I'm not quite sure why you wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, some people get pretty passionate, so that's how it is.
I know myself. I'm very, very, very far the one way, but I don't I'm more than happy for the other guy having his opinion, wanting what he wants. We may as well enjoy each other.
Yeah, exactly. Where are we here? Mountain Firewood. I've followed Andrew for a year. You're an incredible young man.
Well, I'm surprised somebody called me young. That's fantastic. That's even better. They started to creep up in the middle age there now.
Yeah. Oh. Boy, I think you're younger than me too. So yeah, I guess you are the younger one right now.
It's coming up quick. I'm 34 in a month from now. So.
Oh yeah, you're way. I'm like almost got 10 years on you.
But you look handsome though. That's the difference.
No, it's this spot. It just keeps getting bigger.
Oh, you like
the kid? It's funny. It gets worse when it started getting real bad once the kids came around.
I'm pretty lucky. Dad's got all of his hair. Both my grandpas had all their hair. And until the last probably 2 or 3 years, Dad didn't even turn gray. He just the last 3 years he started to turn gray. So I've got I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I got a couple. There's just a few small ones in there would be about all I got. So I'm still good to go.
It was my goatee. You go back in my videos and you watch, you can probably see my goatee just get like more gray. It's crazy. I'll see. I don't know if I can. Let me go back to here. We'll share a screen and we'll go to this one right here. Here you go. There you have it. You see that? There it is. There's the Jeep.
That's a mini utility vehicle. Come on now. It
It's a
even
Jeep.
said so. That's hilarious.
There, look at it. I think that's Andrew right there.
Is that not Dimitri? You like that?
Oh boy.
Took that one out of the park, eh?
Oh yeah. Well, when you throw softballs up.
That looks like a short Ukrainian man if I ever seen one. Shot off the knees.
Iron and Oak. JBC uses their own engines. A JCB EcoMax.
Oh, well, there we go. Learned something new today.
Also, that link, you can thank James for that. He was he passed that along to me. 4440 PVC. Are you ever going to up power your axis?
I don't know if I need to, honestly. Well, we've played with it a little bit, and like we put, oh fuck, there's probably 5 or 6 months ago. We put a 2228 engine on it. We put the 23 horsepower Vanguard on and the big pump and everything on it. You can only move so fast. Like it worked nice. It was good. And like honestly, I'm probably gonna have a video here next week on that because like that like you can only work so you can only function so fast. Your brain only processes information on such a level that it's comfortable. And I'm sure you've noticed that with the process. You can pull the levers as fast as you want, but there's a big difference between pulling them really fast and pulling them gently, and the difference in and the wear and tear in your mind, your body at the end of it. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it really is. And that's what I've found with it. And we're probably gonna have a video on it next week because like that 22 MB performs so fast. They're running so fast, but you can't run them that fast. You literally can't pull the levers comfortably and run it to its potential without wearing yourself out. And the same thing with the axis. Like we can speed that machine up as fast as we want. Like literally, the limitation is gonna be the seals inside the cylinder. I can do that, but the limitations of your body, your mind, what you can actually humanly function and do. And I think even with the 14 horsepower, you're almost at that limit for a daily thing. Like you can run it obviously faster for 10, 15 minutes maybe, but you'll never maintain it ever.
Yeah, I agree with that. You watch guys running processors fast. You can only maintain that so like it's the concentration level you gotta have with that is just crazy. You're better just to be at consistent speed and be consistent that whole time.
And at the end of the day,
is fast.
You're just gonna bust stuff. You're gonna break stuff. You're gonna wear yourself out and make stupid mistakes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. And I've done it myself.
I can make something as fast as anybody would ever want. I can literally make something insanely fast. So you got the money, honey. I got the time, sort of thing. But there's a limit to what people are mentally capable of, and I don't care who you are. Like you can only run something so quick.
Yeah.
Like when it's automated, that's fantastic. Like we could literally pound wood. Like I could fire blocks at the end of the processor, but wood's not perfect. It's what we're dealing with. We're not consistent. Unless you have peeled poles, you'll never be able to do it on that level that you could run it like that. So
yeah. He just said right here was more interested in the tonnage, not the speed. That's what he was.
I don't think you'd ever need more, honestly. like the 14 tons that it comes with, that you can peel off a side of block, no problem at all. Like, I don't think that's anything I've ever come into it to issue with anybody with an Axis, honestly, ever.
Yeah. What do we got here? A Buick guy. I'm currently waiting on 1222. If you're able to shorten production times. Well, Jerry with a G send update emails with the new delivery dates?
I'm not quite sure yet. Like, we're still in the infancy of going from a 2-year lead time to a 12 or 14 month lead time. So it's hard to say what's going to happen here. Like, I would think the guys that have had machines on order that are a year from now or in that ballpark are probably going to be pleasantly surprised that they're likely going to get it in the spring, maybe the summer sort of thing. But until we get rolling and know what we got, it's hard to say.
And this Brad, he was a little bit late here, I think. What's the update on the new shop and production time? So you just kind of answered that. New shop's ready to go with the oven going now. And what do you say?
And it's working awesome.
Yeah. 2 weeks. What do you say? 2 weeks till the guys come over from the other shop?
Yeah, the end of next week, I'm hoping. Yeah,
yeah.
Like we've got one more week left in the shop that we're in.
Yeah,
and then we'll be full bore at in the new shop, which is really great. That's if there's a weight lifted off your shoulders, for me that was it. It's so hard to dedicate yourself to one or the other when they're not even far apart. They're only 7-8 kilometers, but it's hard to get away from one or the other because you don't want to not be at one and not be the other, right? So
yeah, you want everything all stuck at one, or like all the equipment at one. You don't want to have to run back and forth.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that a lot of people that they don't really understand. Like we've got, I guess now I've got about 15 employees, but like I'm very, very involved with almost everything. Like if Henry or Jeremy or Jerry or whoever told you, it's probably come from my mouth. Like more often than not, it's normally come from the top. So
yeah,
I think that's one thing that a handful of people try to kind of push us around and shove us around with. But like if those guys told you something, it's probably come from this guy here. So
yeah. Well, 4440. You're welcome for that answer, and same with Andrew answering that for you. And thank you for that very much. I appreciate it. You gave a super chat there, so thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Ricky Heron, Andrew, I got 33 years on you. You have built an amazing business. Glad to do business with such a great company.
I'm glad to have such great customers. That's the difference in it. It's amazing to have that many good people to work with.
Yeah,
like yourself and Ricky, like you guys are amazing. You have no idea how much easier it makes doing the job when you have people like that to work with.
And it's nice, having what we're doing right now. Everybody can get on and talk, and there's other chats going on it within the chat, which is nice to see. So it's great everybody's coming along here, and
it's awesome, and it's amazing, and the support from you guys is incredible. That's what makes this go around, that we can build better products, service everybody better, and have what we have.
Yeah, it's feedback. Feedback helps companies grow, right? Good, bad, 100%. Everything. You gotta grow with it, and it helps a ton. Trail Junkie, greetings, Kevin, Andrew. I have a 1222 on order, and I'm excited as it will arrive probably around Xmas. Best Christmas present ever. Oh, I bet.
Well, he's gonna love it. Those 1222s are awesome. That was kind of like That was the first machine we built, and they're rock solid they're performance splitters. They're amazing. They work incredibly. We have so many guys that have built their firewood business off those 1222s and had such good luck with them that it's great. Like I'm glad we were able to build such a good product that they performed that well. So
Yeah. And in the wood yard just showed up. How are you doing,
Chris is here.
Yes.
Geez, I hope that guy buys a processor soon.
He's got a lot of wood in his yard. He can.
Oh, there'd be a lot of stack in there, Chris.
Yeah. I think, give us some time. I think I can get him talked into it. Where are we here? William Klein, if you can get tree length wood, it speeds up your production. Here, only 100-inch pulp cords are available, so it slows your production. Which I agree on.
And if Chris ends up buying a processor, that may be one thing he's going to have to contend with, because a lot of those guys in northern Wisconsin, or I guess Wisconsin, he's in Appleton. They run 8-foot wood. A lot of it's 8-foot wood. It's short wood. It's just fucking hard to work with.
Minnesota,
you can obviously make time with it, but it's just short.
Yeah, the guy loading's got to work.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So especially if you want to show like Chris, you got to you'd be loading a lot. But
we've run some short wood, and it's all the boss can do it's steady keeping up. You want to be close to that wood pile, so you're cutting down on that travel time.
Well, when we were at Gord's the other day, they had Gord's tractor and Guy's tractor running, and it was a full of two of them to keep the deck full.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they were like 8-foot 8 or 10s or something they were running there.
They were really good. They were almost bang on 8 every single time. And normally you'll take a little cookie off the end of it to make sure it gets past the plunger on it.
Yeah,
those guys were almost bang on all their measurements. I don't know what Guy had. Guy and Gord must put a measuring tape on almost every one of them, but it was perfect.
That's awesome. What do we got? Trail Junkie Andrew, how do you balance business with family? Great job, he says.
Well, I'm not quite sure, honestly. I don't. I used to work a lot. I used to be very, very, obviously with Facebook and everything that was going on, I used to spend a lot of time working. The last 6 or 8 months or a year, my oldest is 6, my middle one's 3, and my youngest is about 7 months. I don't work near like I used to. When we first started in the processor, it wasn't uncommon to work a 90-hour week, and when I say that, I mean that seriously. We would work, and both me and Stacy would be. She was running her hair salon, so she'd work from 9 till 7, 9 till 8 almost every night, and then I would work from 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. We'd go to the pub and we'd have supper. So at the end of it, especially working every weekend, we literally work 80, 90 hours a week for a year. So I'm 33 now, and up until probably 2 years ago, a year ago maybe, that was life. We worked that kind of hours and that kind of and I never had toys. I never owned a snowmobile. I never owned a four-wheeler. I never owned a side-by-side. I had an old Mustang I built out of a bunch of scrap parts that went like hell, but that was my entertainment. So we never had a whole lot in that time. We're taking more time that we have kids to step away a wee bit and do that. And that's why a lot of people haven't seen me as involved in the Facebook stuff. So.
And your kids are only young once, and you only get to see it once, right?
Yeah.
You want to live it. You don't want to live it through pictures. So.
Yeah, and you can't mentally and physically. I don't think you can and there's lots of guys that do. There's lots of people that They want to go like that. Mentally and physically, you can't do it. You have to step back a wee bit. And like I've learned to delegate over the last 4 or 5 years. That I put people in charge of stuff to make sure that it happens. And for the most part, those people are good. And I want to make sure that the people that are doing that are on the same wavelength as me. That Saturday, Sunday, like after hours, we have business hours because that's hours of business.
Yeah. Josh, the steel shop we work with locally has a big water jet machine. It's pretty impressive to watch. Wondering, how does a water jet compare to your laser?
Water jet is slower by a lot. It is a lot more expensive to run. It's less expensive to buy one. Like water jet's not quite as expensive as a laser. The advantage of the water jet is you can cut anything. Like I guess the laser can cut anything too, but the water jet will cut anything. You want to cut something 9 inches thick, you just run it slow. Right? They are an incredible machine, and the precision with the water jet is right on. The laser, the precision is really good. It cuts incredibly fast, but we can only go up to about we go up to about 1 inch thick on the laser. So that's the difference of it. We don't normally go too much over an inch thick. We'll do the back brace, handful of parts on the splitter part of the machine that are inch and a quarter that we need to have the plasma for. But and it's significantly less money to run. Like a water jet, you're running probably $70 or $80 an hour to run it, where the laser you're running about $5 or $6 an hour to run it.
Wow. Ricky Boring, has anyone ever changed every other tooth on a saw on a processor? Always done that on his Tiger Cat cutter. Saved a lot of money and still cut like I had a whole new set.
Maybe. Have you guys ever done that, Kev?
No, if we're changing a whole set, there's a reason why we're changing it. You know, it's usually because we hit something and the carbide tips are just gone. There's no point in changing every other one because you're still missing a carbide tooth. You know, we've replaced, taken out 10 teeth and replaced just 10. We don't replace the whole set. So yeah, to replace every other one, I haven't heard anyone doing it, but somebody probably has. I get the reasoning behind that, and probably would work.
I think the big thing, like with what Ricky is saying, is like you're going from probably a tooth on a Tiger Cat had that, like those big hot saw teeth. You're going from a tooth that's probably $40 to $50 to a tooth that's $3. So
yeah,
that's probably the big difference. And you would likely get away with doing that on a hot saw head that you'd be able to replace every other tooth or every bad tooth. We're in a processor. It's not. I don't think there'd be any reason to not replace every one of them. You would I think you'd retooth a processor blade, a typical processor blade, for probably $300, $200 to $300. You probably have all the teeth done in it.
I think I want to say the last set we bought, this was pre-COVID, was about $11 for a shank, like a complete shank.
Complete shank, yeah. A complete shank would be $11. I think the actual carbide tooth is like $2 or $3 or something.
Yeah, I wanted to say $5, but you could be right on that, $2 or $3. Yeah, I think we only bought like half a dozen. I don't even remember what the price was of them.
And I think there's about 40. If I'm right, there's like 36 to 40 teeth on one. Terrible that I don't know. Honestly, I said no, but that's off the top of my head.
40, the 40, like on a 4,000, I think it's 32 or 33.
That sounds about right. Yeah,
so on a 48, it's probably Wait, what'd you say? 40 or 37?
I think at 36, I think on a 48
Yeah,
is what we're
probably.
running.
Yeah, I've never seen it, and it's like I said, it still is a lot cheaper. You could do it, if they're just dull, but yeah, you're better off to for how much they cost and probably the money you save in fuel just by changing them. I'd say your aim wear and tear on everything. I'd say just do the whole set.
That's one thing I haven't got into a whole lot is kind of the tooth, because like Simons and those other companies will literally custom build the saw blade. If we want to have 100 teeth on, they'll build it like that. Like they really will. And I've never got to the point of having to micromanage that. Well, like normally what they give you is sufficient. Like whatever they say they recommend is honestly bang on, like really really close to horsepower and stuff like that. So we haven't.
Yeah.
We've never ventured off and trying our own thing there. Those guys are the experts in that field of it. So,
and probably in the end, getting what they're like something standard is cheaper to replace if you mess it up, like for the consumer, than something custom built. It's now you got to wait months to get and. So they can make another one. And then the extra cost. I'm guessing we could get a blade within a few weeks, if not less, right?
Yeah, like well, with us, we're trying to. That's the big thing. Is like all the hubs, everything is. We're trying to keep everything as standard as we can. That we have stuff on the shelf that you call us. It goes out the door to you. Well, we don't need to worry about does it fit this, does it fit that. It's right. It's going to go to
you. I hope that kind of answers your question, Ricky. If somebody else on here has done it, just put a comment in there. I'm interested myself. I'll skip these guys. So Josh says they've run 40 to 54 cords through his. Very happy with it. In a few weeks, they'll be switching to full production. They'll be running 20 cords per day. So they're just be ready to start hammering down. NJR land clearing. Any close-ups of the log repositioning system? Jeremy has been great to talk to. Very responsive. Thanks.
There's a handful of them. Not like there's the odd instance where you're gonna run. Like if you have a big knot or something, you can roll at the top or whatever, and it works really really well. Like it's just one of those features that you don't think you really need, but once you have it, it's worth having it. And once you start running the machines, they run incredibly smooth. You kind of pick up little tricks of how things fall in and how they go, and well, we ran a couple of decks today through that 22 MB, and I had to reach out to. I only had to reposition really a whole lot manually. Like I could do it either with the log ejector table, which actually works awesome for that, or the or the LLR.
Yeah. I don't. You was wondering if there's any close-ups, but I don't know what you'd have to go back and watch your videos. You may have some in your videos of it.
And I could probably find. I could probably even do that. Video to get a couple close-ups of it.
Joseph Lucenick. I run a Palix 100 firewood processor. We do around 100 cord a year, mostly poplar, spruce, pine, camping firewood, 5-inch to 30-inch diameter logs. What processor would you suggest to upgrade to?
5-inch to 30-inch diameter, eh? You'd pretty well be in a 60C then. I would think that would be your next step. A Palix 100, eh? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
How is a Palix 100?
Or 100S?
I'm just looking this up. I'm not that familiar with the Palix brand, honestly.
Yeah, neither am I. Mike says a 44-inch blade has 36 teeth.
44-inch blade. Though, if I know right, it's too bad Marv's not on tonight. I've heard these things are incredibly fast, like amazingly fast. These little Palix circular saw processors. I think the only disadvantage of it would be the diameter, and like if you have stuff that's crooked, I think you still have a rubber belt instead of a chain on it for the impede. So I think that would be the only disadvantage of that particular machine. But if you were looking for something to replace that, I would say like a 48C would probably be okay. You may want to go up to a 60C, but I don't think you'd necessarily need it. In my experience, even like we have a Hackey 1X50, we have a big Hackey here, and it's a good machine. It's an awesome, well designed machine, well built machine, and but the PTO ones aren't as, I don't want to say rugged, but they're just, I don't know, they're not. I don't know. I don't know the proper word for it. Because they work fantastic. They really do work good. They're just not quite for typically what we would have here. Like the long stuff with an knob on it or a burl on or whatever. They're no good for that.
Yeah, it's more pole wood, I guess is kind of what I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I think in Europe, like a lot of stuff with like birch is pretty straight and clean, and like a lot of stuff is going to be grown that's grown instead of actually naturally occurring trees, which is a big difference in the shape, the structure, the size of it, the grain structure. And I don't know if you've ever seen that comparison with 2x4 that was from 100 years ago to 2x4 today, but the grain structure is a lot different, right? So
yeah. He says they're called a 1000S now, or 1000s, I believe.
1000S.
He also says
told they are insanely fast. I've been told they are awesome.
Yeah. He says they were looking at a Bell's 4000. What is it called now? And would that be a good choice?
That would be a 48C. Like if you're looking on their website, the Eastonmade website would be a 48C. It's the same size as a 4000. So you say same chassis, same size blade. I think the blade's a little bit bigger than 48C, but same essential machine. The biggest difference is when you go to the 48C is all of the options that were on the 4000 that were useful options come standard on the 48C. So there's no picking this or picking that or whatever. It's all standard stuff, and you have all that useful stuff right from the get go, rather than having to worry about ordering it.
Yeah. Corey Morgan says, Andrew, pizza wood.
Pizza wood's the way to fly.
Yeah. Every live stream, Corey's on there. Pizza wood.
We're getting there.
You never know. Maybe on the next one, Corey, he'll have an answer to that.
Well, we have the 16-way wedge. Oh fuck! I say that every live stream. 16-way wedge is done, but I don't want to put something out that doesn't work perfect. Like the 16-way wedge that we have, we're gonna throw it in the 22. We're gonna throw it in Ricky's processor on Monday. Yes, throw it in there and check it out, and after the PDI and on. There's a handful of things I think need to be different on it, but again, the guys we have working for us, the engineers are pretty crafty guys. I'm kind of letting them go and kind of learn, whether or not if something works or not. I think it's going to perform pretty good, but I think there's going to be a few adjustments we got to make to it to make sure it's perfect. Yeah.
So. James was asking, how fast did you click on Chris Wolf's video about his new laser cutter?
Really quick, actually. As a matter of fact, I was on the ball there. I was watching that. I didn't watch the one where he got it. I watched the one where they were taking the Trump out. I think Chris got a new Mazak, and when we were buying our laser cutter, I looked at the Mazak. The biggest fiber laser Mazak made was 6 kilowatt, and it just I think we find machine no problem. I mean, we ended up buying an 8 kilowatt LVD. Just simply because I think the programming was a little better, and the service from the company we were buying it from was going to be a little bit better than what I think from the other company. That's the only reason why we didn't go with the other one. So,
yeah. So according to Google, that Palax 100S has a max log diameter of 15.7 inches.
that would be a 40-inch circular saw. Then it'd be yeah. Like I've heard they're fucking insane. I've heard they work really really good.
Yeah, I'll have to go and look and see what those are like to run.
I think you got to have like nearly perfect pull wood for them, but if you have a steady supply of that, then I think you're in pretty good shape with them.
Is that the one? Does the circular saw go straight up on that one?
No, it comes across, but I think it's straight across. I don't think it's up and down. I think it's like literally straight across from it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't. I've seen some, but I can't remember if it was that one or not. Yeah, so that's 15. Wonder because he's got 30-inch wood. That's where probably the problem is, but 30-inch diameter logs.
You know yourself when you get into that stuff, you're not making firewood anyways. It doesn't matter what fucking machine.
No, yeah, I agree. Yep.
Like 16, 18, 20-inch wood on a processor, that's the limit on. Like that 60C it'll cut probably 25, 26, but like the side of the troughs, like it just you're not making nice wood anyway. So I don't even think I'm gonna cry. Like we've sold like 8,000s of guys that want to do like 26-inch stuff in one pass and have perfect firewood come out of it. It just doesn't work mathematically. It doesn't work. If you have a 16-way wedge, if you stack 4 and 4 and 4 and 4, that's only 16 inches.
Yeah.
Right. So by the time you get sellable firewood out of one pass, it doesn't work. And you can see those videos of processors doing 27-way wedges and stuff, and they're running ash veneer log through. Like it's split 27 ways with a damn axe and just as fast. So it doesn't count.
Yeah, those big wedges, those are pretty neat though. Not gonna lie.
What's that?
Those watching wood come through those wedges, though, is pretty neat. I can watch that all day.
It is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But do you know yourself, if you get a 25-inch piece of ash, is that clear? That's a saw log.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's going to the mill. It pays more at the mill.
You'd have rocks in your head to run through a processor consistently. Anyways, you might run the odd one or two through it if you have them, but consistently, it's not firewood.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all caught up here, and we actually still ended up going 2 hours, but no worries there.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, it was still good. Actually, I think this one went super well on how it went along. This was fun. Another fun one. Everyone's fun.
Oh, I have a
very
good time
enjoyable.
I just like hearing from everybody and visiting with you. That's great.
Yeah, this is we talk a little bit back and forth during the weeks, but this is where we really talk. So
really. Besides that, that's pretty well revisit.
Yeah, I know you're a busy guy. I don't want to be bugging you a lot while you're trying to get stuff done, and then your family. So we'll let everyone get back to the Back 40 live stream. So I don't want to cut into his time.
Tell Dan we said hello.
Yeah, That's right. Tell him we'll say hello, and I may be over in a little bit. We'll probably chat a little bit after here and be over. Anyway, guys, cheers. I hope you all have a great weekend because it is Friday, so the weekend is just starting. Have a good one, guys.